You're now tuned in to 13signsastrology.com. So when you get into this order of Melchizedek, you must trace back yourself through your mother's bloodline, through the mitochondria aspect of your mother's bloodline, which is the DNA that your mother passes on to you, for those of you that don't know. And we've heard this teaching before, however, what we haven't heard is that once you trace yourself back through your mother's bloodline, you're supposed to meet the mothers, plural. So you have more than one mother. Everybody that got to this planet, you didn't get to this planet from no one woman, because there was an experiment that took place that's proven on the walls of Sumeria, where there is a group of 2 women and a male holding flasks, proving that there was some form of a DNA experiment that took place to get you here. Who these women were is debated. Some of these images may be debated. However, we know that these ancients left clear pictures of flasks and DNA showing that there was an experiment to get you, everyone here. And those people that are in the Q's fraternity know what I'm talking about, in these different fraternities, because that's going into the patriarchal side, and we'll talk about that later, going into the Q's, but let's stick to the matriarchal side. That there's a group of women that you will trace yourself back to and getting into this experiment. And I'm saying this because even this aspect that I'm teaching you about mitochondria, DNA, and things of that nature, you've heard it before. However, when you begin to research the documents and how much money it costs for someone to figure that out, you'll find out that this order is a very rich order. And I'm saying that because yesterday I was challenged to basically stop putting out the information about this, because they were saying people are not ready for it. However, I respond to, the way I do videos and things of that nature, I respond to money and credit. And I won a lot of money and credit yesterday from my perspective off of what the information, the videos that I began to put out about this order yesterday. So when someone pays to see, that's what I call it, the rest of the information needed, I will present the information. This is how I do it, on a need-to-know basis. So when someone pays information or pays, whether it's through credit or whether it's through sports, because I deal with athletes and people that have shitloads of money, so I can't help that. And when someone pays, I'm going to give you the rest of this information. And they paid me to say this, not me to say this, but they paid to hear this. They don't know this, but this is what they paid to hear. See, I'm a channeler and a psychic, so no one tells me what to do. We're going to make this clear. I don't work for no motherfucker. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care. I don't work for you. I'm a psychic and a channeler, and everything that I do is based off as I think and based on what was revealed to me. Now, you could debate it, and we can sit down and debate it. That's cool. But I have to put that out there. So I was paid a shitload of money to talk about information pertaining to this order. However, I will only pay in increments. And the mitochondria aspect and the stuff that I'm bringing up is very important, because you can't even get into this order unless you are precise and know. See, they won't reveal, so when I say get in, you won't get revealed certain information, so you will be capped off on not only your financial understanding, how you understand money, but you'll be capped off on understanding what you're really worth, and you'll begin to start to think that you're a slave. See, when you get and dibble and dabble into this type of information and to this order, it can, if you don't use it correctly, it's going to put a spell on you. See, they called me yesterday asking me not to really even talk about this. That's how deep it is. Those that are privy to this information, and I'm not going to disrespect what the brother said. So that's why I'm kind of coming from a different angle, if you notice on this video. I'm not going to really go too deep, because it's a challenge to conscious people to first and foremost say, you have to have an understanding of money when you deal with this information and what you read and how much this shit costs a person in research to bring to you. Even people like Zachariah Sitchin, we talking 6 figures worth of money that was given to him. He was sponsored by someone. I could even tell you who he was sponsored by, you see. So we funded people to bring you this information. So you can't tell me I don't know nothing about this order when I got money invested in it. So what I'm gonna say, this is I guess my reply to the challenge is that don't get mad at me, because I'm not saying I'm rich. People say you're a bum and this things of that nature, and that's cool. You can say whatever you want to say about me, but I know that I'm not a bum. And don't get mad at me, because I know that you have to put up a certain amount of money and be essentially rich in order to even bring this type of information, even study this information, and even get degrees to buy into this information. Malachi Z. York, I'll say this, and I'm gonna shut down, did a ritual to make him a 720 degree master mason that he paid, according to his students, they told me this, that he paid over 6 figures for, over $150,000. Basically bought a house just to do this ritual, to partake in this ritual, which was associated with this order. So this is the type of money that we talking about. So when a person, like, you know, saying conscious people have stigmas and stuff, and they get mad because they like, you charging for services and all of that shit, you know. And it's like, when a person is on that level, they're not gonna really graduate in this order and understanding of this order. So yeah, you gotta trace yourself back to your mother's bloodline, and then after that, you gotta take up an art or a skill or something like that to get into this order, and you gotta make $1 million in credit before you can even get in. Look at Malachi Z. York, he was singing. Zachariah Sitchin, you think he just came and that man was a language scholar. A language scholar. He spoke over 4 different languages. Even Malachi Z, they say he did too. I don't know. These are the 2 people I know. Even Melchizedek, that man that wrote the Flower of Life, he's a part of this order. Alice Bailey, different people. There's women that actually control the order. That's what I'm saying is, believe it or not. So you think, oh, it's a men order and all these men want to come. Yeah, women control the order of Melchizedek. That's why you got to trace yourself back to your mother's bloodline. That's why I started this video talking about that. So Alice Bailey and Madame Blavatsky and all of them were all a part of setting up this order. And it goes back even further than that. You got to go back into the Dogon and things of that nature. And believe it or not, the order is still intact to this day. But you ain't gonna meet these people that's worth billions of dollars, shamans and shit like that that's worth billions of dollars, and you can't even understand why you should pay for a service or why you should exchange funds with someone. You get mad when somebody asks for a donation or something like that. And this is not me judging anyone. I'm just saying your mentality. You don't think this is worth anything. You think it's all just free. So you don't appreciate any of it. So on the next episode, I'm going to go into helping you to understand the father aspect and how to, in the experiment, we're going to talk a little bit more about this. I'm not going to bring it all, but it's a lot more to be said. The experiment and these women, and what were they doing? What type of women were they? Were they the same women that we have on the planet, or that we look at as women? Were they the same females, I guess we'll say it like that? Were they the same females that we have on the planet today? Because when you deal with the term female, it goes into feline, which goes into the order of Bes, which is a whole nother aspect of this order, which is an order controlled by the deity Bastet, who was a part of this experiment. And I'll stop there. We'll talk about that in the future. So I thank you guys for listening and watching. I have to keep these episodes going as the revelations come to me. And that came to me. So thank you for your few minutes of listening to this brief episode of Spill. And I'm going to come back up with more. As always, stay vigilant. Namaste.